Joseph Alex, Indu Chudan, Bharat Chandran, Jagannathan. Shaji Kailas is no stranger when it comes to introducing those larger-than-life mass action heroes in Malayalam cinema. Now, to add to that list, we have a new character, Kaduva Kuriyachan, played by Prithviraj in the new Shaji Kailas movie Kaduva. So how does it hold up? Well, Prithviraj has done complete justice to his character as well as the long legacy of characters introduced by Shaji Kailas, along with the movie Kaduva, which has lived up to the hype and expectation of the legacy of a Shaji Kailas movie as well. Now, having said that, here's my review. So right away I want to state that, there is nothing new or innovative over here. It's not a story that you haven't seen before. It's not a character you haven't seen before. We've all seen it. In fact, if you've seen a Shaji Kailas movie from the 90s, that's exactly what you can expect from Kaduva as well. The difference is he has updated his style of movie making. Now, if you were to think back to the 90s, just think of any Shaji Kailas movie, the kind of movie that he makes and how it's presented, the characters, certain scenes and certain story elements, how it plays out. Here, all those elements are there. All those, that familiar old school formula, it's all there. The main difference over here is that Shaji Kailas has clearly understood that this is 2022. He cannot stick with that old style wherein, yes, you might have certain sequences where that, hero tells that big mass dialogue or anything like that. Here, there is that scene. Yes, he has that mass dialogue moments, but it's all very small. That's the best thing about it. Kaduva is a fast-paced version of every Shaji Kailas movie you have ever seen. So what you can expect, it has the family-related aspects to it. It has political aspects to it. It has religious aspects to it. So they touch upon everything that or every element that you've seen in a Shaji Kailas movie. But they don't spend too much time on one aspect. They quickly move on. And that's the best thing about it. So if you think back to any Shaji Kailas movie, usually they take about 10-15 minutes sometimes on one scene where hero says something, the villain says something, and it all builds towards a big fight or something like that. Here, the hero says something, villain says something. So they might spend like 1 or 2 minutes on it and they're quickly moving on to the next scene. Okay, so it's like, now it's time for a little family moment. Now it's time for a little bit of action. Now it's time for a little bit of mass dialogue, and so on. So there's no moment where you are sitting back and it's like, okay, let's go. It doesn't really drag. That's my point over here. The biggest strength of Shaji Kailas is being able to create scenarios or certain bad guys that makes you, the viewer, as you're watching it, makes you want to get up from your seats and bash the bad guy. And he's able to accomplish that with Kaduva as well. So like in the first half, there are certain people who are like you're waiting for this bad guy to get beaten up. So in the second half, there's a payoff where, you're waiting, yes, so that happens. And, it's a total blast. Also, great editing and great stunt work. There are at least, I think there are 6 or 7 fight sequences in this movie. Very well executed, great stunt work. The actors, the stunt guys, everyone's done a great job. In fact, I believe the backbone of this movie is the stunt work, because there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of fight sequences, and Prithviraj again as Kaduva Kuriyachan does a great job. You genuinely believe, yeah, he can beat up 10-15 bad guys. He can do it. So, and he does it really well. He's got a lot of screen presence, and Shaji Kailas has really updated his shots. There are some really exciting sequences here. I don't want to give anything away, because in the movie theater when I was watching, along with the action scenes, there are some big iconic moments also, and the way he's kind of composed the shot and how he's framed it and all, it's done really well, I would say. So it's definitely upped his game. Great to see that whenever you hear this veteran directors coming back, there's a little bit of foreboding, because you're worried, how are they going to present the movie. You don't want to do something that he's done before. It's great. They did great work in the past, but you want to see an updated version of that work. The main conflict of this movie, it begins with a misunderstanding. In fact, at the beginning of this movie, Prithviraj's character of Kuriyachan and Vivek Oberoi's character, IG Joseph Chandy, they're friends, they know each other, their families know each other, there's no issue as such. But it starts off with a misunderstanding wherein Seema, the actress Seema, plays Vivek Oberoi's mother in the movie. So it was a pleasure to see her, but it's more of an extended cameo. And she and Prithviraj have an understanding of something to be done. I'm not giving it away, because it's part of the narrative. So I'll let you experience that as you watch the movie. But at the last minute, Seema changes her word, which ends up with Prithviraj's character being embarrassed in front of everyone. for which reason, Prithviraj's reaction to that whole scenario, it's quite negative, especially to Seema, who's someone, that character is like old enough to be his mother. It's about the words he says, it's quite insulting. Vivek Oberoi, he's also the IG of the police, as well as her son. He starts to get angry and he reacts in a certain way. Him and Prithviraj's character, they have a tussle, which is what leads to everything else that happens in the movie. Again, no big spoilers as such, it's pretty straightforward. But this is how the big conflict begins, and the rest of the movie is about how first this conflict is, escalated, and how it changes the lives of these two men. At the same time, towards the end, how this conflict is resolved as well. Also, special mention to the editing over here by Shamir Mohammed. The movie has a certain energy to it, and right from as soon as the movie begins to the point where it ends, they maintain that energy throughout, and that credit goes to the editor itself, because the way he chooses to tell the story through these scenes is like, if there is a certain action or certain element going in, the next angle is always taking the story forward. And I just loved the editing of it. It really added another whole dimension to this storytelling and movie watching experience as well. In terms of performance, it's mostly a Prithviraj movie. He's front and center, kicking ass, giving those fiery dialogues, stealing the show, all that is there. Samyuktha Menon plays his wife, and she plays the wife character. Just really nothing much to do over there aside from being his wife, being a supportive figure to him. Vivek Oberoi plays police IG. His name is Joseph Chandy here, and he's intimidating enough. He's got that, that he's really tall, and he's got that that physicality to be intimidating to Prithviraj's character as well. So they're a good match. They have an interesting fight also towards the end. It's quite good. I have a feeling that this movie could have a sequel. The way the movie ends, I'm not sure if that they were hinting at a possible sequel, but they could. I don't think it's necessary, but the way the movie ended, there's a small hint about it. So for my overall rating, it's 3 out of 5. There's nothing new or innovative over here. It's a typical Shaji Kailas movie, but done very, very well. Fast-paced, action-packed, entertaining, so go with your family, go with your friends. It's the kind of movie that deserves that communal movie watching experience. You better to sit with a crowd and watch this movie. You can have a lot of fun. Get some popcorn, sit back, just have some fun with it. Nothing too serious, nothing too confusing, nothing too complicated. It's just a good old-fashioned Shaji Kailas action entertainer, updated for our new generation. And that's it for the review, guys. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up icon, and of course subscribe to my channel for more reviews and videos like this. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye. It's fast-paced storytelling.